Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like and to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. I know that this will sound relatively repetitive. Can you guess what? Let me know if you know what I'm going to say. Comment right now if you know the exact words that I'm going to say. It starts with theirs. Right now, tell me if you can figure it out. There's not a lot of Bitcoin left. I know we've been going over this for years as Bitcoin has like 13x'd in price, but you know, it's just the current situation that we're in. Everyone, I would assume it's everyone. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. Not like actually like I'm sitting on a seat and I'm not near the edge, but so the news that we keep getting on top of the tax-free crypto stuff, which I assume more people will eventually start paying attention to, is the idea that the United States in the next less than 90 days is going to announce some kind of Bitcoin adoption in some form or fashion. Not even including the states, the provinces, the counties, and the other countries, right, who we've also heard are going to be buying Bitcoin. Recently, we also heard from Tether. If you happen to miss that one, Tether has almost, I think Tether's near 90,000 Bitcoin. One company, just Tether. That's also quite significant because, you know, there's not a lot of Bitcoin left. And Bitcoin is also so rare that not every millionaire and billionaire will be able to own one. I got to keep reiterating it so that you can tell other people as well, because people in crypto keep forgetting that as well. I saw something recently on Twitter where someone was talking about the actual, and there's the discrepancy between these numbers is crazy. Someone was talking about how much Bitcoin is left on crypto exchanges, and they were like, I think everyone's talking like really crazy, like there's not a real supply crunch, and it's like, oh, you have no idea what you're talking about. So the other thing is that we're always talking about is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy being another company who in 2021, which sounds fake. My mind keeps wanting to say 2012, and then I realize how far away that actually is. I think it was 2022, announcing that they were getting into Bitcoin. And then that branched off into other companies who kind of announced the exact same thing. And that brings us to these two that we're currently talking about. While we get a substantial amount of news about the ETFs and the MicroStrategy buying a lot of Bitcoin, there are other companies who are also doing it as well, also dwindling the supply nearly every single day. Some of them have kind of gone overboard, like this one. And it's a little... if the United States is really going to start accumulating Bitcoin, of course, you kind of have to do this. You can't really lollygag on this in this situation, but like I said in another video, it feels like something's off. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, like not off in a bad way, but I feel like something is happening and it's more extreme than we are led on to actually believe. As far as like, why is everyone jumping into Bitcoin now? Inflation has always been there. I mean, we've had some bad inflation, but like you understand, the debt levels have always been pretty bad, and they're going to be even worse in 5 years. But it's like a really weird, I don't know why I'm doing this, just a really weird thing where everyone's kind of jumping into the market at like the exact same time. So I assume something behind the scenes is going on. This company is called MetaPlanet. I don't know why. I think they do nothing with Meta or planets. Are they a video game company? I don't know. They announced mid last year that they were into Bitcoin, and I think they bought like 38 Bitcoin, and then they bought 100 Bitcoin. And then for some reason, people began to call them like the MicroStrategy of Japan. And it's like, sure, why not? They recently purchased another 619 Bitcoin. And don't sit there desensitized. Part of the problem with crypto right now is one Bitcoin is a lot of Bitcoin. If you had one Bitcoin, you are farther ahead than billions of people on the planet. There will only ever be 21 million, and there are 8 billion of us on this planet. So even one Bitcoin is a lot. So a lot of times when you hear 619, you go, well, it's not MicroStrategy's 9 million. It's like, okay, cool, but it's still a lot of Bitcoin. That also takes it away from like you and your family will never be able to own those coins because it's theirs. They now have a total of 1,762 BTC. They've ramped up their accumulation in a very odd way, in that they were accumulating small amounts of Bitcoin before. They recently just almost purchased more than like 40% of what they had the entire time. Also ramping it up. They say it's because of the devaluation of the Japanese yen. It hasn't been doing well for a number of years. But it looks like we might be moving into a situation where the US dollar is actually going to falter. That's not a joke. It's not meant to be fear-mongering. It is like something is off when the people who are meant to secure and strengthen the dollar are talking about moving tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars into Bitcoin over the course of this year. On top of that as well, MetaPlanet is drinking the MicroStrategy Kool-Aid, in that they're announcing that they're trying to raise large amounts of money as well to be able to acquire Bitcoin. The way that it worked out before was that they were, I think, using money from their own coffers. They were $1 million in Bitcoin, 1.5 million. They recently announced that they're trying to raise 62 million US dollars for further Bitcoin accumulation with stock acquisition rights, very similar to MicroStrategy, basically like putting debt against the company in the form of stock or whatever the actual people who are owed the money decide to get. So that's also going to be something that we're going to be hearing about as well. The firm pointed to an urgent need to increase its Bitcoin holdings. Like I said in another video, it's clear that something's up. We will probably never know as the public the full extent of it, but it is quite odd all the companies that we're hearing in the last 30, maybe 40 days who were like intent on buying as much Bitcoin as humanly possible and even getting their companies in like extreme debt to be able to do so. Tying into this as well is another company called Genesis Group Limited, who has also announced they have just purchased another $10 million worth of Bitcoin. They now have 319 Bitcoin, what they call now part of their Bitcoin first strategy. And they're, of course, trying to raise more money as well. Just a bit of an update of what's going on. There's a lot of madness happening at the exact same time. Yeah, I wonder where this is all going. I've said that before. I think it's going to be a crazy year. But these buying levels like actually cannot continue on forever without some kind of like a major movement up. That's where I think that guy Samson Mao was talking about a couple of days ago. For those of you who missed it, he thinks Bitcoin is about to like kind of like 10x, like actually in price from where it currently is because of all the buying from companies and countries. Yeah, that's the Bitcoin supply. Continues to dwindle. There's not a lot left. A lot of it keeps on being accumulated by these companies. And every time they buy an entire Bitcoin, that takes it away from like several hundred people. Is that correct? No. Yeah. I want to say like 300 people. I don't remember. I can't count very well. 3,000 people. Is it? I'm going to end the video here. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.